hope you're having a great 2022. And it's almost the first month has ended. Usually, every year around this time, I make, I gaze into like my crystal ball and make 7 or 8 predictions on what is going to happen in technology this year. I kind of stick my neck out and do that. And actually, at the end of the year, I then look back and see that, how many of these predictions were right, how many were wrong. For some of you who might have caught my video for the year 2021, I got more than a few right, but some of those I got totally wrong. And a lot of people have been asking me since then and otherwise as to what are my tech predictions for 2022. Um, People say that you should never make predictions, especially about the future. But then, I decided to do that for this year, as with every other year. And so here are my 7 tech predictions for this year. And I kind of took my crystal ball out to look at it before I did that. So prediction number 1 is what I call AI everywhere. So pretty much like digital or even electricity, as Peter Ang had said. So AI will not be one additional thing that we do, but it will be infused in, it will be like in the background of, it will be the infrastructure of most objects around us, whether they be cars, whether they be phones, whether they be TVs, and soon pretty much everything. This will bring in what is also called the edge AI revolution, where AI is not in some central server somewhere, but it is actually embedded in objects at the edge. Now, as AI becomes ubiquitous, questions about ethics in AI or responsible AI or explainability in AI will become more and more strident. What I expect, my prediction, is that there will be one big incident, like the Cambridge Analytica incident, but in AI. So the Cambridge Analytica of AI, which will happen this year, and actually bring AI ethics and responsibility into common imagination. So that AI everywhere and ethics in AI, and one incident happening to highlight that is actually my first prediction. My second prediction is what I call the for better or for metaverse. The metaverse, NFT, Web3 hype will continue this year. It'll be fueled by all the crypto bros and even, and all the Bored Apes and all the different kind of NFTs coming in. There is substance behind the hype. One of the big things is that it is giving rise to what is called the creator economy. But then there's a lot of fluff too. There's a lot of hype too. And so there will be a crash and burn, some of which we have already started seeing. I also do think, however, that crypto will continue to mature and it will become more and more mainstream. And my prediction for 2022 is that the first $100 million NFT will be sold this year. Number 3, my favorite man, Mr. Musk. And number 3, my prediction is that Elon will continue to rule. 2021 was his year. 2022 will continue to be his year. And how in his efforts to shape massive industries like cars and space and transportation and others will only continue, and he will be like our tech overlord in a sense. I believe that he will continue to be the richest man on earth, and my prediction is that he will actually increase his lead over Bill Gates or over Jeff Bezos. And so Elon's year is my third prediction. The fourth one is where I really go out on a limb, and I'm taking a bit of a risk in saying so, is that the pandemic ends this year. So this year, COVID will not end. I believe that the COVID-19 virus will decide to establish an equilibrium with the human race. And the Omicron variant, I believe, will convert this raging pandemic into an endemic. And much like flu, we will have shots every year and continue our lives. In the beginning of the pandemic, I read this wonderful book called, I think, Pale Rider by a lady called Laura Spinney. And what she said was that pandemics end socially, not medically. People get sick of it and they say, look, it's over now. And I think that's what is going to happen this year. Number 5 is about AI and software again. And number 5 is, I think, a new term, a new word, a new movement will come in, and it'll be the year of the rise of green AI or green software. Very few of us know that actually the cloud, AI, computers, electric cars, even our phones are actually massively polluting industries. And and they kind of take a leave a huge environmental imprint on the earth. Now, for example, as I wrote before, and I've said before, manufacturing one PC needs, researchers have said, 250 kg fossil fuels. Training one model of an NLP or a natural language processing model in AI emits the same amount of carbon dioxide as 125 return flights New York to Beijing. And the world's data centers actually consume more electricity than South Africa today. So, what I believe is that as people become more and more aware of this, there will be this rise of this new kind of green AI, green software movement, and it will become as important as ESG or diversity or in inclusion in large industries. Maybe not this year, but the movement will start. From a green viewpoint, green tech viewpoint, my prediction is that we will see a large announcement in nuclear fission, the technology which I believe is the closest which can solve our global warming and our energy crisis. Number 6 is what I call crunch times. Now, the two biggest crunches in the tech world last year in 2021 was the big semiconductor crunch, where everyone needed semiconductors, not enough could be produced or transported, and that resulted in gadgets not being available, car productions being cut down, etc. And the other was the manpower crunch, the big great resignation, salaries going up like crazy, every industry wanting to digitally transform, but not enough tech people to do it for them, and therefore this massive crunch of manpower. In 2022, I predict that the semiconductor crunch will get over, but the great manpower crunch in tech will continue. Good news for tech people. And then finally, my prediction number 7 is that in 2022, the future of work will become the present. The pandemic actually changed a lot of things. And one of the things it changed quite a lot was work. And suddenly, work from home, the gig economy, the emergence of this passion economy or creator economy, all those things which were supposed to happen into the future started happening now. Geography became redundant in many ways. Hybrid work started happening. People started doing other things, started monetizing their creativity, and the creator economy happened. As the pandemic started getting over or started getting eased out, people did not come back to work. They started resigning, and the great resignation happened. Along with that, industries decentralized. And so, this trend of the hybrid work, of work from anywhere, of creator economy, of gig work, etc., of people doing other things than just 9 to 5 work. Therefore, what is called the future of work will only accelerate in 2022. And that is my 7th and final prediction. Now, there's this other quote which has been attributed to a lot of people, which basically says that any believable prediction of the future will be wrong. I'll repeat that. Any believable prediction of the future will be wrong, and any correct prediction of the future will be unbelievable. So let's see which one of these two happens at the end of 2022 when we will come back and take stock. Have a good year. Thank you.